Good afternoon. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused, my 3 times a week live show where I chat to you about social media, about video, and the stuff that you could be doing to get your brand up to the next level. So everybody in your community is not only talking about you, but their community is talking about you as well because they've been sharing your content. First things first, though, who am I to tell you anything? Well, I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios, an award-winning visual marketing agency. We help brands and businesses create content that makes them stand out a bit more than your usual content on social media. But a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand and business necessarily had loads of money to spend on having content created. So I sat down and went through a process that I'd used myself. I also kind of turned it into a book I'd spoken about on stage, and it's called How to 9 Times Your Social Media. And it's a process that means making your content work harder for you. Everything from content planning through to podcasting and everything else that goes on in between as well. But most importantly of all, everything in that process is stuff you can do yourself for free. My second favorite 4-letter word in the entire world. So if you're interested in that, you can go and check it out in the section below, or you can just go and watch some of my old content. I've been doing this for a long time now. So yeah, we're here again anyway. We're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Facebook as well. So if you've got any questions about social media, about video, please stick them into the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Even if you're listening to the podcast this evening or watching a repeat, make sure you send your questions in and I will do my best to answer them either on email or in the next live, which will be on Friday. But today we're going to talk about the fact that it is Awesomeness Day, your chance to really shout about the fact that you are truly awesome, which, let's face it, social media is kind of there for. That's what it's there for your brand, for your business. It is there for you to talk about how awesome you are, the pain you remove, the value that you give. And I often go on about this, that you want to be showing people the pains that you remove with whatever service it is that you provide, the value that you've got to give over trying to sell them a particular product, trying to help people as much as you possibly can, especially when you're trying to grow organically. I talk a lot about having paid for content. And when you have paid for content, that content needs to look a little bit more pristine, a little bit more nice than maybe some of the other content you might post organically on social media. What I don't talk about, very rarely in fact, is actually selling within your day-to-day organic content, because it's something that really doesn't sit well with me massively. But selling is a means to an end. If you don't sell, your business will not exist. And we all get into business to make money. That's what we do. I know it's not a dirty word, but money and selling are those words that really kind of make our skin crawl. And so for me personally, I hate selling, but we're going to talk about it today. How often should you be selling within your social media content? Number one, you should most definitely not be selling on every single post that you put out. If you are looking to build an organic community, people who care about what it is that you've got to say, the value that you've got to give, and they're going to care about your content and potentially share it with their audience, consistently selling every single post that you put out is only going to turn your audience off. We are bombarded with 6,000 to 10,000 sales messages every single day. So the last thing they need is another one from you, unless you're putting money behind it. If you're putting money behind that piece of content, then it's totally different. But if you're not, if you're looking to reach people organically through hashtags, through them searching for certain expertise in a specific area, then you do not want to be selling in every single piece of content that you're putting out. And if you are doing so, you're making a huge mistake. You need to be looking at what it is that you provide and showing people what it is that you provide, and then giving them some value in the area of expertise in what you provide as well. So if you look at my content, nothing is specific to an actual business, but I give a lot of overseeing generic value and help in people creating content for their social media channels, be it talking about a particular app they could use or talking about a type of way they should be putting their content out, but it's not specific to that business. That specificity, is that a word even, comes when we have a one-to-one consultation. But actually being able to give generic advice, stuff that will help remove pain, is what my content's all about. And so you need to be thinking about doing that with your content. But there comes a point within your content where you do need to sell. We're not all Gary Vaynerchuk, where we can sit and give value, and never really ask for anything except maybe once or twice a year. We're not lucky enough in that position where our brand is basically making us money, getting us to do keynote talks for 6 figures and all that kind of stuff. I'd be happy if I did a keynote talk for 2 figures. But anyway, we're not lucky enough. We're not in that position. So we do need to sell with our social media content now and again, because we all need to make money. So I'm not going to give you precise numbers because it's different for different industries, but you need to be looking to try and sell around about once a day, maybe once every couple of days on your social media channel. So for example, on Instagram, every couple of days. So 1 post out of every 6, people will go to Instagram, they'll scroll on in and they'll go, right, okay, I'm going to look at this person's profile, and they'll look at your profile, and what do they see? They see the first 6 posts on your profile. So if one of those 6 posts is a selling post, it's not the end of the world. And I'm not going to think you would consistently selling to them on every single piece of content that you put out. So selling on 1 piece of content in every 6 on Instagram, absolutely fine. On Facebook, maybe once a day, because if you're posting regularly on Facebook, then your content's going to be consistently scrolling and you might not get seen. But if they come to your profile, they might see that piece of content for selling at the top, especially if you pin a particular piece of content about selling at the top of your profile and then make the rest of your content more organic. Twitter, exactly the same. You need to be posting far more often than just maybe 3 or 4 times a day. So maybe think about putting out more of a sales message, maybe every 6 messages that you put out on Twitter. There are generic numbers, but what I'm trying to tell you is don't never sell, just don't always sell. Don't inundate your audience with a sales message. They're just going to switch off their social media channel, or more to the point, they're going to switch you off. So they're just going to delete you. They're not going to follow you anymore. They're going to remove you, or they're going to just like kind of ignore you or even badmouth you to other people. So don't always sell with your content. We've got a question here from Ed, who's asking, as someone who runs a Leeds United fan channel, what ways could I make money? Would you recommend we set up a Patreon, perhaps a Ko-Fi page? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could do those things. You could also, I think, as a Leeds United fan page, why would you not sell Leeds United products? That would be the most obvious thing to me. Can you do some sort of affiliate session with the Leeds United club shop? Is there a way of affiliating through that? Is there a way of affiliating through other things that are Leeds United that people are selling? I would look at that kind of stuff, affiliate stuff. So that obviously, as long as you mention to people that you're doing affiliate stuff and these links are affiliate, then when they click on them, you'll get a little kickback. And also those products will be sold via Leeds United. So money's actually going directly into Leeds United, or maybe through their charity pages or things like that. That's probably what I would look at, because the thing about a Patreon is it kind of ends up making more work for you. So unless you've got the time to do this, a Patreon generally requires you to give something back to the audience who are your Patreons. Yes, sometimes it's just a case of them supporting you, but a lot of the time when you look at Patreons, they're giving something back to the audience, whether it be secret videos that nobody else gets to see, or audio, or competitions, or whatever it might be. So there's always that element of, in the back of your mind, are my patrons really getting anything extra from me? So you could do just like a PayPal giving page and just get people to give money if they feel they should give money, like Venmo and that kind of stuff. But I think affiliates is probably the way forward for you. I think that's a really good way forward as well, because then you can do affiliates on everything that's connected to the podcast. So it could be affiliates to the microphones, or affiliates to your headphones, or affiliates to Leeds United kits, or your Leeds United scarves, or Leeds United merchandise as a whole, whatever it might be. But I think you've probably got a better opportunity there through affiliates, because people listening to your content are fans, and then you're drawing them to other fan-based products. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Hopefully that helps. That's what I would do potentially, especially if you're short on time and don't have necessarily the time to do stuff for a Patreon. And it's an easy way of you making money on every single piece of content that you put out. So you can go back through all your old pieces of content, your old videos, your old podcasts, and actually put in those actual affiliate links so that if anybody stumbles across that content, they will still see those affiliate links and actually make money from that instead. He actually says, hadn't even given that a thought. Thank you very much. Not a problem at all. I think that's probably the best way, because then you're not really asking your audience for anything. And that always feels uncomfortable to me. Me sat here and saying to you, buy what I do, or give me some money because you think what I do is great. It's a nice thing to have, but as much as they appreciate what you do, unless you do have a massive audience, the chances are you're not really going to see much of a return from it. And like I say, you have to do more work. The affiliate stuff, you can be wearing a shirt and you go, oh, I tell you what, I got this shirt the other day from Leeds United's shop. And if you go and click on the link in the section below, you'll save a little bit of money, and I will get a little bit of a kickback as well, which would be awesome and really help us keep creating this podcast for you amazing Leeds United fans. That simple. Hello to Harry Jackson, who's just joined us. Thank you very much for watching over on YouTube. If anybody's got any questions who's watching right now, stick them into the comments. I will do my best to answer them before I finish today. But I think you're kind of getting the gist. Don't always sell, but feel free to sell now and again within your content. Just now and again. Not on every single piece that you put out. Okay, right. I'm going to call it a day there, though. If anybody does have any questions, if you're watching the replay, if you listen to the podcast, or if you're just joining the actual live this very moment, my email address is in the section below. Go and click on that. Send me an email with your question on, and I will do my best to answer all of those, either on email or in the next live, which is happening on Friday. But until then, thanks very much for watching today. If you are brand new to these streams, don't forget you can subscribe to these channels. And if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you never miss out on another live episode as well. But until Friday, as always, I will continue to say it until all this craziness is over. Please continue to stay safe and have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.